Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to another tutorial on Adobe After Effects CC 2020. In this tutorial we're going to explain the use of masks, how to use, manipulate, edit masks inside After Effects. So first of all I'm going to create a composition based on this image that I already have downloaded, and I'm going to select this display resolution to auto. You don't need to degrade it because it's just a small image, and we're gonna start drawing a mask. To create a mask you need to make sure that the layer you want to mask is selected, and then you create a shape layer, any shape layer, whether you use this tool which includes rectangle, ellipse, polygon, star, or you can use the pen tool itself. I'm gonna start with the rectangle tool basically, and I'm gonna draw the rectangle tool. I'm gonna draw a mask around this box or screen. If you want a certain borders for your mask, you can use guides, grids, or any other tool that makes any other tool that makes you comfortable. So I'm gonna start by creating a mask. No, it's not necessarily anywhere it's gonna be or how it's gonna be drawn. It's just a tutorial. Then you are gonna see that you have a masks here, masks group under this layer, and we're gonna go to the mask. You can change the name if you want, of course, and you see you have 4 options that you can work with. Before we work with these options, all of them, we're going to cover all of them basically. I'm going to go here, click, and show you how to move the mask. So if you go to the selection tool, you can click the mask and you can move its edges. You see I can skew it, I can change the point to distort the mask as I want. I'm gonna undo. What if I want to move the masks as a mask fully, totally? You have to double click. When you double click, you are gonna see that you have the free transformation tool or handle, so you can now move the mask, rotate the mask, or even scale the mask if you want. You can press shift and control to have different effects or results of whatever you want to change. This is how you change the shape of the mask, and basically which is available here. This is the mask path itself. Okay, so any change you do here is going to be recorded under the mask path. Why I'm saying recorded, because you can animate it. As you can see here, I can click this stopwatch and then move over time, and then just do any changes to my masks. You see I can select one of the points, I can change it that way, and select one of the other point and just change it that way. Okay, and you see here when you animate you're gonna have this animation. Let me go to the RAM preview. Okay, it's not available here for me. I'm gonna just press space. You see the animation. So anything you do here and the new mask shape is going to be animated, or it's going to be recorded. Okay, you don't need to change shape. If you want, you can just move the mask. So I can delete this, and I can double click here. I can start from here, and then after some time I just move Control Shift Z, or redo. I can double click here and then just move the mask all the way down. I didn't move the time. I need just to move the time and then double click and move it like this. You see, this is also an animation that you can create, and we are going to discuss one example regarding the use of masks. So I'm going to delete the animation. I will just go back. I will just move my mask back here. Okay, I just needed to display this. Now what else I can do with the mask? I'm going to turn off the animation keyframes, remove them by turning off the stopwatch. You have a mask feather, and if you are familiar or you are a Photoshop user, you're going to be very familiar with the mask feather. The mask feather is used to smooth the edges of the mask. So you see here, you're going to make it smooth, not sharp edges. So when you click outside, you see it is smooth over the edges. So you can change the feather as much as you want. Okay. And what else? I'm going to make them 0. Okay, and the other things you need to change is, or you can change this, the mask opacity. You can change the mask opacity anyway. If you turn this transparency grid, you see it is now more obvious. Okay, so you can change the mask opacity and make it 0, which means no mask at all. Okay, and this is the mask that you're gonna have. I'm gonna turn this off again. Okay, and you have the mask expansion. You can expand the mask and in that way. Okay, and instead of changing the shape yourself. Okay, this is going to expand the mask. Anyway, you can create nice effects on animations with these things, just like this opening animation or closing animation, without needing to go through the mask itself and change the shape. Okay, now going back to the shape, you can do more than just moving the edges or the vertices. You can change the vertices type themselves, which means I can click here the convert vertex tool, and I can click any of the points, you see, and drag to make them smooth, and I will be able that way to change the shape of my mask like that. Okay, anyway, all these things are gonna be, anything you do here is gonna be under the mask path, so you can animate it. Okay, you can animate, even you can create frame by frame animation, or every 2 keyframes, every 3 keyframes. Okay. The other thing you can do with mask is the mask type itself. You see here the mask is by default is add. You can say none, which means no mask. Add, you are going to add the mask to your layer. Subtract, you're going to subtract the mask from the layer. You see it is not black, basically it is transparent. You see here. You can say intersect. If you have more than one mask, this is going to work for you. And you have extra other options that you can, again, if you are familiar with Photoshop, you can see them, and you will be, some of them, you're not going to see the effect if you have only one layer, one mask applied. Okay, so feel free to practice them and see how they work. Okay, I'm going to go back and click this, make it like this. If you don't want to make subtract, you can just invert it, and it's going to be inverted. I'm going to stick to this. And the last thing we are going to discuss with mask is there is a magic tool with mask. It's very useful, very handy tool, which is available under the pen tool, which is called the mask feather tool. Okay, why do we need the mask feather tool when we have this feather control here? The mask feather control here, if you notice, is going to affect everything, all the edges at once. However, this mask feather tool, what's nice about it is you can create variable feathers along your mask path. Okay, so you can, for example, click here and drag outside, you see, and you're going to create a feather here. You might say, but okay, it's on all directions. Yes, you can click and make them and make it like this, and you can click and make it like this, and you can click and make it like this, and you see the effect that I created. Now I can move the point anytime I want. Okay, I can create as many points as I want, and when you deselect, you see, this is the effect that you're gonna have. And basically, this is a very powerful tool that's available with in After Effects, that enables you to create variable mask feathers. And as I said, everything you do here, points, everything, including the mask feather, is going to be under the mask path itself. So you can animate this. What I'm trying to say, you can just go here and click the animation, and then you move this like that, or you can right click and edit the radius and make it 0, and it's going to be 0. Okay, and now if I deselect and you see the animation, you can have this nice animation created for you. No extra keyframes added for the mask feather tool. They are going to be within the mask path itself. Okay, so that's all for masks. Anyway, let's just show you how to create basically another mask within this mask. I'm going to just turn this off to delete the keyframes. What if I created another mask? Make sure that this layer is selected, and I'm going to just draw another mask. You see here, we are going to have another mask. Again, just like with mask number 1, you can double click and you can move it. I can double click this. I'm not going to double click, basically I'm going to press escape to quit the free transformation tool. You see you have 2 masks now. You can, as I said, rename them. I'm going to make this rectangle, and I'm going to name this circle. Name them circle. And then, as I said, now when you make it intersect, you see, before you didn't see the effect, but now you see that it's only the intersection between the 2 masks is available, or is visible, sorry. And you can make subtract, which is going to be mask 1 minus 2, or I can just make this, and I'm going to make this subtract, and you see you're gonna do it the other way. Okay, I'm gonna just make this subtract, and remember the order of the masks make a difference, or makes a difference. You see here, this is gonna make a difference if you keep them, if you change their order. Okay, again, you need to play around with them, practice them. As we always say, not only me, practice makes perfect. As much as you practice, your skill is gonna be improved if you are practicing the correct way. Okay, now we're gonna apply the text on something, as I said, on something other than the shapes. I'm gonna double click the text here. I'm gonna write mask. Okay, the mask is, I have a stroke, it's too much. I'm not gonna add a stroke here, or if you want you can add. I'm gonna just make it 0 that way, 0. Okay, and then I'm gonna draw basically sorry, I don't want to click and drag, click and click to create this shape layer. I'm gonna go to stroke here. I'm gonna apply stroke and control alt home, control home, and I'm gonna just move it a little down a little bit. Okay, and we are gonna make the text appear from behind the line itself. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna create a mask over my text, and this is going to be, don't need to be very accurate on the width. So you see here I have the mask. Okay, and now I need to text to move out from the bottom to the top. So how I'm gonna do this, you can, of course, you can apply the animation that suits your need. Basically I can just select this mask, okay, and move it. You see it's gonna reveal the text, but this is not what I want. Basically I want the text to move from the button. So what I'm gonna do is applying a text animation group. I'm gonna apply the position here, and I'm gonna change the position to be like this. You see, now the text is not available because it's outside the mask, and now I'm gonna just do the animation. Click. After a few seconds I'm gonna just make this 0, and as you can see here, you see this a lot in YouTube or any other tutorials. So if it is very slow, yeah, it is very slow, you can just speed this up and press, and this is the mask, and you can just easy press F9. Okay, no problem. You can go to the keyframe interpolation and just change them to Bezier manually. Okay, they're gonna be easy eased. Okay, so that's it. That's all for the mask. I hope you enjoyed the video and it was beneficial. Thank you very much, and we see you in next videos, inshallah.